Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Erasmus Expeditions. We are here tonight with a brand new campaign that is kicking off. We've already had our session 0 last month, and now it is time for session 1. This campaign is titled Evermore le Masquerade. The session title is A Matter of Life and Death. This campaign is taking place in a homebrew world of mine called Rostveen, where there's been a lot of campaigns that I've run set in that world on the channel already that you can find just by looking through the backlog of games. But this particular campaign is taking place in a kingdom called Gerdes. There's a lot of intrigue, a lot of lust, a lot of assassinations. So I'm very eager to get to this game. I've been planning this game for a long time, and I'm really excited to finally be bringing it to all of you, both the players and the audience who may be watching. So thank you very much for tuning in. If you are new to my channel, if foul language bothers you, if mature subject matters bothers you, if immature humor bothers you, and particularly for this game, if sexual content bothers you, don't watch this game. Don't watch anything from this campaign. There will not be explicit sex during this game, but we're going to come about as close as you can. So, yeah, I think those are everything that I need to warn about and say ahead of time. I'm very excited that I managed to get these particular 5 players to agree to let me torture them. To play in this game. So I'm going to pass things over to them so that they can say any kind of introduction that they would like to say, plug anything that they've got going on, tell you where you can find them on the internet, etc. And then we're going to get started. So first up, we have Kenya. Who's muted, though?
Haha.
There you go.
Sorry. There we go. I had it muted on my mic, too. So you always pick on me first, Jeremy. Kenya, and you can find me on my Twitch channel, Aesir Sin. It's linked down below. It's pretty much, you find me on a lot of games. I only run one game, it's on Sundays, but I bop around in quite a few other games throughout the month. Otherwise, I'm in the MTD and the AbTab Discords and hanging out. Been in Valheim a lot lately, so that's been a lot of fun. And that's pretty much it.
Excellent. Very happy to have you, Kenya, as always. Next up, we have Matt.
Hey, everybody. I'm Matt. I run a channel called A Fistful of Dice, and I make RPG books at Absolute Tabletop. And I'm so stoked for this game. I don't know, Jeremy, are we supposed to introduce our characters? I missed if you said we're supposed to.
Yeah, if you'd like to, go for it.
Okay, yeah, just briefly. So I'm going to be playing Loxley LaCroix. He goes by Lox. And he is a half-orc fighter with some mystical abilities. And he is someone who has been away from the city for quite some time and is recently returned.
Excellent. Yeah, super happy to have you here, Matt. This is the first time that I think I've run a campaign for you here on the channel. You played in Convergence, but that was over on Miniature Angel Domain. So
yeah, welcome. That's true. Yeah, this is the first official Erasmus Expeditions campaign. So I'm very happy to be here, and thank you for inviting me, Jeremy.
Of course, man. Yeah, it's my pleasure. All right, next up we have Em.
Hi everyone, I'm Em, and I am Dice on Ice on YouTube and Twitter and Twitch and stuff. And I run I think it's 2+ years Curse of Strahd campaign, and it's really great. It's a fun game, and yeah, I will be playing Sylvie Levin. And super excited, super stoked. I've been wanting to play in a game like this for a long time, so I'm so excited.
Me too. All right. Speaking of so excited, the king of segues, Austin.
Yes, I am Austin, and I will be doing my entire introduction in this accent to figure out if it is too insufferable to A, perform, and B, listen to. So I will be playing Guillaume Delestot, the layabout rich kid of the group. He's a party boy, a bit of a boozer, a bit of a womanizer, if you know what I'm talking about. But he has a good time. He's also, fairly intelligent. He does hit the books when he's not hitting the clubs. Oof, losing it already. May not be able to do this. I've turned weirdly Robin Williams in the beginning of Aladdin. I don't know what's happening. Let me tell you, this is very special. Like, I have a lamp. Okay. Anyway, that's the character I'll be playing, and probably not going to be doing that accent now that I've really tried committing to it for more than 10 seconds. No.
I'm excited to hear you land somewhere in between and kind of be just a blending. Yeah, I'm excited for that. Welcome back, Austin. Always a pleasure to have you. Last but certainly not least, we have Karen.
Hello, everyone. I'm super excited for this game. I have no idea how long I've been waiting for this one to start up. Super excited that the day is finally here. I'm also known as Mything Gears on the socials, though I'm very quiet right now because I'm super busy and don't have time for any of that. But tonight, I get to play Cameron-Diego Ruiz y Gonzaga at your service. And I will not be doing an accent because I could not keep it up. So that is that. I am a half-elf, a rogue type. Very similar to Guillaume, I would say, of that noble bent, just around for the partying, the women, the wine, the gambling, debauchery, give it to me, want it bad. That's what we're playing.
Well, then you've come to the right place. And the game might fulfill that need too. No, I'm just kidding. Thank you very much, Karen. Always a pleasure to have you here as well. I'm very excited to get this going. I don't think that there's anything else that I need to touch on other than anybody who happened to mention a channel. You should be able to find the link to that channel in the description of the video down below. Please do go check them out. Show some love. And speaking of showing love, if you feel like showing some love to the channel, I did set up a Ko-fi link, and it's in the description as well. So if you feel like donating, then I would love you forever. So thank you. Sweet. I think then we are ready to begin. Unless there's any kind of questions or anything that anybody has. Okay. Here we go. I will tell you a story, a tale of danger, of love, of betrayal, and of daring deeds. This story, our story, begins in the city of Al Hidalgo. Many would consider Al Hidalgo to be the crowning jewel of the kingdom of Gerdes, and they would not be incorrect. A booming center of commerce and revelry, it is still the only place where the silver from the mountains in the west is minted into the coin that feeds Gerdessi trade far beyond the boundaries of its borders. Nestled in the midst of a magnificent lake, canals carry the business of Al Hidalgo's citizens to and fro in its fleet of gondolas. Bards practice their trades on every lantern-lit corner and in every cantina in the city. Here, appearance and reputation mean everything. And so, as the saying goes, to be Gerdessi is to always wear a mask. The early morning mist still clings to the lush gardens and hedgerows of a well-appointed estate. We hear the clashing of blades long before we see the duelists. The younger man fights with a vigor that borders on anger, tears gathered in the corners of his eyes. However, this soon proves to be his downfall, as the older man's sword stroke plunges fatally into his abdomen. Through the sputtering of his own blood, the dying man speaks. "Please, I am undone. You have won your honor. I ask only that the child knows the name of Margrino Pellico." The older man replies coldly as he twists the blade. "Even if this bastard were not conceived during a Migazada, I would take the greatest pleasure in ending its miserable life before it knows the warmth of its mother's breast." He then plunges the sword into the heart of the pleading man. As winter fades into spring, Mardival is now only a month away. The people of Aladago are already in full swing, preparing for the festivities that are anticipated all year long. The songs of would-be lovers can be heard at all hours of the night, serenading and pining for their loves from boats and garden walkways beneath bedroom windows. The shop of Sylvie Levine has been incredibly busy for several months now. But today, as fate may have it, is the day that you each have an appointment here. If you would, please, describe who we see and tell us why you have come here. Baby steps.
I'll go. I can do it. Striding through the crowds assembled in the streets is a tall half-orc man. He is lean and athletic, but with a bit of a paunch due to his unshakable love of drink and food and sleeping in. Loxley LaCroix has an eye patch over his left eye, the hint of a scar sort of peeks out over the edges of this eye patch. But like every facet of his personality, this eye patch is embellished and it becomes this sort of accessory with this like beautiful sort of Baroque, almost like gold lattice work over the top of the leather that covers the scar over his eye. His hair is dark black, almost purple, with kind of streaks of silver, and he keeps it swept back in this kind of easy, unkempt, just got out of bed sort of way, with just the right amount of sort of curl and windswept quality to it. He's dressed sharply but not loudly. His clothes are nicely tailored, fitting him just right. And he keeps at his side a sword, a sort of saber with this elaborate sort of basket hilt. He often finds his hand straying to that hilt just out of habit, out of comfort, but rarely does he draw the weapon unless he is first threatened. to do so. Today, he is taking his time getting to Sylvie's shop. He's been celebrating early, and today he has a little bit of a hangover. And as he sort of shields his eyes from the sun, of course, it's almost cloudless in the sky today. He sort of ducks into a little market stall with some fruit, grabs an apple, flicks a coin to the grocer, and proceeds to the shop. He would open the door sort of as he's taking a huge bite, and immediately look for Sylvie inside the shop.
So maybe as you enter inside the shop, there is already I'm refrain from saying gentleman, but a gentleman standing in here, kind of almost browsing the shelves of the fabric. He's probably not nearly as tall as Locksley. Probably about 5'9", very slender, definitely elven in look, though you can definitely see that there's some human features as well, but super long, bright crimson hair. It's very striking, the hair, and right now currently it's loose and just kind of flowing around his shoulders, and he's dressed in finery, not as lavish as it could be, but definitely on the upper side of upscale side. And at your entrance, he just kind of turns to take, I guess, what's the word I'm looking for? Take stock of the person that just entered, and seeing that it is Locksley, actually someone he knows very well, he says, "Locksley, what brings you here? Getting new grubs, I think."
I think I left my hat in here last time I stopped by. Have you seen it? It's got a peacock feather in it.
Locksley, I'm afraid you left that hat down by the dock a couple nights ago. Don't you remember?
That's
You're
the thing,
carousing
I
a little
don't
bit
remember.
too hard. Well,
yeah, well,
it was a good time, I will say.
As
I
they
doubt it's still there.
as their conversation continues, there's a bit of this sort of liquid smoke seems to pour through the door for a moment, and this slight fanfare of trumpet seems to go, and Guillaume walks through, emerging out of this illusory smoke that seems to kind of melt down and dissipate, and he's dressed in this absolutely pristine, deep green, velvety overcoat, and he has this kind of bright purple vest underneath, and currently wearing white ruffles, and he's got lots of ruffles. Everything is gold lined. He as opposed to the not loud clothing that Locksley is wearing, this is screaming clothing. Like it's something that is begging to be noticed. He's got a huge hat on that has a couple more feathers than it seems like it should. Like you probably would look at it and wonder, like, how much does that thing weigh? It can't be comfortable on your neck. Like that kind of hat. And he strides in, and immediately, as if all the conversation in the room had stopped, whether or not it has, he looks to Sylvie and says, "Ah, my purple ruffles, are they ready yet? These white things are just, everyone's wearing them. It's boring."
Good goddess, man. Do you have to do that every time you walk into a room?
If I want to own the room, and I would like to own the room.
I like it. takes all the attention off me, and I would toss him a half-finished apple.
He just catches it and takes a bite.
I think at the sound and the announcement and the trumpets and him walking in, I feel like Vera maybe is already in the shop, maybe in a side room trying something on, and you just hear the sound of the curtain slide, and you just see her look out. And as soon as she sees Guillaume walk in and make his announcement that he's there, she just, oh, this again, and wanders out into the room and looks at his hat and mutters something about the size of one's feather and some other sort of insult type thing, but just, talking about feathers.
And he'll remove his hat and deeply bow and say, "Ah, a most respectable lady. I bow to your wit," and put the hat back on.
Notice how he didn't deny it, though.
He did not. He absolutely did not.
He smiles, but there's a bit of like quiet rage as a little piece of him dies inside. So Vera, I see they're letting just anyone in here these days.
Obviously, you got in the door.
So clever. So clever.
It's
Tell
true.
me, are you finally going to be dressing like a person? I know Sylvie's the one to do it.
The majority of my wardrobe has been created by Sylvie. Are you insinuating that she is somehow inferior and the clothing that she's made me in the past is of poor quality?
Oh, no, of course not. I wouldn't blame. Oh, damn it. Now this is where I wish I was smarter, because some really smart quippy analogy about like, oh, I don't blame a shipbuilder for poor wood or something. Like,
I think she'd kind of just smirk at him a little bit and turn and start admiring this outfit that she's maybe or holding up a different piece that's with her, and pretty much just kind of stop the banter with him at that point, seeing that she feels that she's won the conversation there.
Sylvie, what are you up to during all of this?
You hear the sound of movement in the back. Merde! And you hear rip of a fabric and the cutting of no. This you will not do again. And you hear the sound of clattering, and as if you were to kind of look in down the hall, you see flying scissors and sewing needles and measuring tapes just flying about this room, as you see Sylvie with her hair a mess in a very messy bun, flyaways everywhere, just directing these instruments. And you see what looks to be this almost like a teal chiffon being moved and twisted around into until it creates this this gown, this centerpiece for a gown. And carefully Sylvie takes it and places it upon the mannequin, where more fabric has already been laid and placed. And she takes a step back and she looks at it. Nah. And she turns away from it, and walks down the hallway, carefully fixing her hair until it is once again like this perfect coif sitting above on top of her head. And she steps into the room. All right. Who was here first? Come on. I don't have all day.
I think Vera would probably step up and hold her hand up. Sylvie, dear.
Yes, of course. What do you think? Tell me.
Of this? Are the colors right for the festival? Is there a theme this year? Will they match with it?
That is the wrong question. You don't want to stand in. Colors mean nothing. Colors on you mean everything. You do not care about whoever is out there. No. They try to belong, not when you come to Sylvie. No. You will stand out. You will be more than the colors. They will paint the colors after you next year.
Then we should pick good colors.
Now you are.
Next year, we'll wear this year's colors and stand out again.
Oui. Yes. Now you are thinking. Here, I have some things in the back. And she would march off again, and then back later, comes back within moments with this pile of fabrics and just kind of places them on you.
Farrell will just start going through the different fabrics as as Sylvie's attending to other people. She'll start picking things out and separating them into piles.
So after you've dumped all the cloth onto Vera, and I can see Vera's just like collapsing under the weight of all these things that she's got to now pick through. Chimeran, seeing that Guillaume had, a little bit, what was the word? He's taken offense a little bit to the playful banter a little bit earlier. And as Sylvie's walking back in with all these things, Chimeran has turned to Guillaume and said, "Oh, don't worry, man. I like your feather." And he winks before turning to Sylvie and going, "Speaking of feathers," and he pulls out this beautiful peacock feather that Loxley might recognize and says, "Sylvie, dear, I've won this in a bet, and I plan to make it into the most beautiful mask for tonight's masquerade."
No, hang on. That's my feather.
I won it fair and square.
I have no recollection of that event.
That is not my problem.
I'll pay you for it. I'll buy it back. Double or nothing. What did we bet on? Let's do it again.
Double or nothing, you say?
Yeah.
So if I win,
I don't have another peacock feather, so I can't do double or nothing, but I will. If what you say is true and it was legitimately granted to you in a bet between the two of us, then I will pay you for its return.
Oh, how about this? We'll do the double or nothing. But if I win, not only do I get to keep the feather, but you have to pay Sylvie for her turning it into a mask.
That's fine. That is an acceptable agreement.
Lovely.
All right. What's the game? What's the bet?
I don't know how it works, but let's do the trip. What was it? Three dragon ante. but I don't know how. Karen doesn't know how the game works. But words like that.
I don't either. So, do either of you have proficiency with that gaming set? By any chance?
Yes.
I do as well. Yes.
Excellent. Okay, perfect. So Three Dragon Ante, it sounds definitely like a card game where there would be, some kind of exchange of betting, perhaps in rounds. So maybe a performance roll. And then if you're proficient with these cards, you can add your proficiency bonus. And if you're proficient with both performance and this gaming set, then you can add your proficiency twice.
Oh, sweet. Okay.
Ah, 19, baby.
Yeah, you beat me this time. I got 15.
But maybe not. My performance is only +2, and then proficiency +2, so 23 would be my all up total.
Oh, sorry. We add proficiency and then add
So yeah, if
we're
you're
rolling persuasion and then adding proficiency on top of it if we have proficiency with.
yes, exactly.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Sorry that I did that wrong. So that's it's still 17. Yeah.
So I imagine it comes down to we basically just decide it comes down to a single hand or whatever of Three Dragon Ante. And as I reveal my card, revealing the winning hand, I say, hey, maybe we'll play again soon and you can get the feather back. But I do appreciate its safe return. It is an item of personal significance to me.
He graciously hands it over and then whispers to Vera, I knew how much it meant to him. I let him win.
I have the peacock feather in my hand and I look at Sylvie and I say, I'm going to need a new hat for this because I'm pretty sure the last one is covered in shit and piss down at the docks.
All right. That is a first for me to have a game. I appreciate it wasn't as bloody as it usually these fighting matches are. So thank you. Yes, I will make that hat for you. And she
Pledged.
picks it and holds it up to the sun and just looks at it for a while, admiring the reflectance of it. And then she turns back to sorry, Karen, how do you pronounce your name?
Chimeran.
Okay. Chimeran. Okay. She turns to Chimeran. It would seem that you are without a mask.
And without a feather, too. I am still very much wanting a mask that would make one think of a peacock.
Guillaume will reach up to his massive hat and pluck one of the bigger feathers off of it and reach out, say, I can't say my hat'll miss this much.
Oh, you're giving me your feather. And we'll pass it on to Sylvie. I think this will do quite nicely.
Yes, I think this will be parfait. And she tucks the two feathers into her apron and turns to Guillaume. And for you.
Yes, I was hoping that I could get some colorful ruffles. I was growing a little bored of all the white ruffles I have on everything. Now, right now, I'm planning on wearing something fairly similar to this in coloring. Of course, I'll probably swap the color. Oh,
I am sorry. Sometimes you just say things that are just so false that I can't help but laugh.
no, please. I defer to your expertise. Clearly, I have no idea how to dress myself. And he looks down at these like crazy expensive clothes that are like, he's shining. But what would you recommend? And he kind of gives this like a quick surreptitious glance over towards Vera and her like resplendent clothing. Like, I'll take whatever it is you think. I trust your judgment. And he has to say that through like gritted teeth.
I think I have the perfect thing for you. And Sylvie goes to the back and is going to come out with this fabric that has been enchanted so that in different lighting, it looks as though there was a like a bloom, right? So as you kind of turn in the sun, it looks like it almost looks like there's the flowers within it that flower, and then as you turn, the petals will almost brush across this outfit until they settle back on the ground. And as you turn around again, they are back in their resplendent place of on the back in full bloom once again.
Well, hello there, gorgeous. And he kind of straightens up as this thing comes towards him. Like he looks like he's like getting himself ready to like meet a new like prospective lover. And like he kind of slicks his hair a little bit. Yes, I think I was wrong. I think these colors are nothing. I think that you might just have it, Sylvie. I think there's a reason you're the best.
Yeah, and as you turn this coat, Sylvie turns this coat and gives it to you. And I'm sorry, there are no ruffles.
I think I can live without them. And he kind of mutters to himself, well, I have plenty of ruffles. I'm sure I could get someone to dye them for me.
Well, if that is everything, I will get started on these. And she like wiggles the feathers in front of you.
Just about at that time, the door opens once again, and though it is nowhere near as grand of an entrance as Guillaume's, waltzing into the shop is someone who you feel graced by. You have been graced by this person's presence. For this person is none other than Consigliere Torin Agneyasa, an elf. He is the head of one of the oldest, most lucrative silver mining families in Gerdes. He's due to actually become a Visconde, a Viscount. Anybody who would like, you can roll a history check. Matt can't, though.
Like hell, I'm rolling a history check. I heard that.
Okay. Cameron, Guillaume. Okay. Okay. So, Sylvie and Vera, while you recognize this individual by just his name and his visage, you don't really know much about him. Loxley and the rest of you realize that if the rumors are to be understood, that he is not very well liked by very many people. He tends to have a little bit of a reputation for not being easy to please. Guillaume and Chimeran, right? Chimeran and Guillaume, both of you understand him to be a staunch supporter of the House of Coin, aligning itself with the House of the Nobility, the House of Crowns. He enters the room, the shop, and doesn't really look at any of the rest of you. His eyes discerningly settle immediately upon Sylvie. Sylvie, darling, how are you?
Welcome. What can I do for you?
Of course, very soon I am to be, dare I say, crowned a Visconde, and I would like to have something special for the occasion. And of course, naturally, whenever I think of something special to wear, here is where I come.
But of course, did you have any thoughts, any visions, monsieur?
You know, I thought maybe I would just arrive and find inspiration. You always have the best of all the textiles here. Ah. He looks at the fabric that Guillaume is holding, and he strides across the room towards it. And he, like fingers the edge of it very contemplatively. This is exquisite.
I'm afraid we may make a bit of a scene if we both show up in the same thing, though.
Why, are you a Visconde?
You know, I can't quite say I am yet, but give it time.
Doubtful. Time, you see, is in my best interest. I am an elf. Therefore, I have already lived much longer than you ever will.
Perhaps. Living slowly, living quickly. Just different ways to get at it, I suppose. We all end up going the same place.
I see this appears to be spoken for. He kind of looks again back at Sylvie.
There is, I have many designs that would be absolutely ravissant on you. Let me fetch some. And she turns quickly and goes into the back.
Wonderful. He then takes his overcoat off and lays it over a nearby chair and moves over to a small dais that's situated kind of off to the side where it catches some light coming in from the open windows since it's springtime. And there's these polished metal mirrors that surround this dais on, 2/3 of the circle. And he snaps his fingers and says, "You, come," towards the individual who has been helping Sylvie. She is a woman named Condessa, I believe. Hold on, please. Costanza Benediso. Young woman who is quite a skilled seamstress in and of herself. Not quite to the extreme that Sylvie is, but she has been trying to learn from here. He snaps his finger and calls her over. She immediately comes over and begins to take his measurements, trying to get him prepared for the fitting. What is the temperature of the room after this man has, well, taking up the air in this space?
Lox is very much trying to escape his notice. He's kind of just like hanging back, just sort of keeping a distance from him to not get in his way, attract his attention. But there is a moment shortly after he sort of moves away from Guillaume that Lox very like subtly just like points a finger at Guillaume and casting message whispers to him telepathically, "Are you a Viscount? I'm a Viscount. I'm an elf. I'm so old. You are not old. I'm old and a Viscount."
Guillaume has to like he's got like a kind of a stone-faced cold smile on his face up until that happens, when it immediately drops off and he just clamps down on his face to try to not laugh like directly at this guy.
He kind of turns this chiseled nose kind of in your direction, Guillaume, for just a moment, kind of looking down at it, down at you, across it.
Something in my throat.
The dais, you realize after just a moment, is magical in nature. As Costanza comes over and begins taking these measurements, she actually waves her hand over some runes that are kind of carved along its base. And as she does so, these runes kind of glow softly, and the soon-to-be Visconde kind of floats, levitates a short distance off of the platform, and she there is very easily able to kind of just turn him with just the slightest touch, to look at the different angles in the mirror and take measurements in different ways, and he doesn't have to do anything but just kind of stand there, float there in the air, which seems to suit him perfectly fine.
Within a few moments, Sylvie comes out, and you see that she is holding two fabrics. The one she holds out, and at first it looks completely black, devoid of any color. It seems to almost absorb whatever light hits it. And she brings it out. I have two options for you, and the first is, and she holds it out, and as she does so, as the light hits it, you see that the hue matches perfectly the kind of the colors around it, so that it almost matches the hue of the room and complements the colors. And as she turns it, and if there's like another fabric around it, it would reflect that hue as well. And so it almost creates like this rainbow of colors on this once very black fabric. She says, this one inspired me from the very fountain of rainbows. Just just across the way. It will match and complement any party and anyone you find yourself around. Then, here, this is the other one. And as you can see, it is much more colorful at first glance than the opaque black one. And it is almost like it uses these very deep crimson colors that seem too pure and too almost like visceral to be a fabric. It almost swallows you up in this very these crimson reds and these very warm autumn oranges and soon you all begin to smell something. The scent of warmed cinnamon and apples that begin to waft up seemingly from this fabric. It is something that I have been trying out where the very fabric will smell like this for the whole night, and I'm sure it will be very enchanting to anyone you are around.
Well, this is truly fantastic. I've never seen these kinds of... this is magic, no?
Yes. A little bit. A little bit here, a little bit there. I tinker.
I see. Well, it is very impressive. I think, though, for this, I think I will take the black. Yes.
Sylvie nods, and we will have one for you right away. And
good.
She
yes. Just as you are stepping out of the room, you hear Tareen kind of, stupid girl, and he actually reaches down and slaps Costanza. Let me down. You stabbed me. And she kind of looks shocked, but she reaches over and does as he says and deactivates the dais so that he is lowered. He reaches up and is kind of rubbing this spot on his neck. And the moment that he does so, his eyes start to grow wide. Anybody who's nearby notices that there's not a pin, like a sewing pin, stuck in his neck. There's a strange looking dart. He starts to grab his stomach. He starts to cough. What have you done to me? He spits out a silver coin that falls to the ground and kind of dances on its edge for a moment before coming to a stop. And he looks down at it, bewildered, before coughing up 2 more silver coins. They fall on top of the other with a clink. He then seizes and begins to double over in pain and collapses onto the ground.
What just happened?
Is he dead? Guillaume, I don't think he's going to be a Viscount either.
What the fuck? And Guillaume is just staring open-mouthed at this. Like, we all saw that, right? The 3 coins came. He just And he'll look to the assistant like, you didn't poke him.
No, I did not even have any sewing pins in my hand. She kind of like indicates the table beside her that has like the pin cushion next to it, and her hands are empty of any kind of needles.
Don't touch him. But look, right there. You can see.
Someone stuck him with something. Windows. Jeremy, are there windows? Like, would there be a clear line of sight to where he was standing on the dais?
Absolutely. Anybody who is
Are any of them open or broken?
Oh yeah. All of them are open because it's kind of springtime, so the weather's kind of turning nice.
Right.
So anybody who wishes to take a gander around, please roll perception checks.
Oh, it's not my best skill.
Sylvie is pacing with her hair, like is looking around quickly, like locks the shop, and just is merde, putain. Oh, I am ruined.
You'll be fine. We were all here. This is not you. We'll figure this out. I'd also like Vera. She wants to do a medicine check on him to see if she can tell if he's actually like dead. Like, okay, or mostly dead.
You can absolutely.
Mostly dead means a little bit alive.
Exactly. I rolled a 17 plus 3, so 21. I'm bad at math. 20.
He's undoubtedly dead. He is kind of purple, very much looking like someone who has choked to death. If you're examining closer, you will find that his throat, his esophagus, seems to be entirely blocked by silver coins.
I think she'd kind of stand up and relay that information to the group and take one of her toes of her shoe, baby, and like kick one of the silver coins and try to see, is there anything, does this look like a standard coin that we carry in our pockets, or does it have a different symbol on it?
So this is definitely a common coin. As a matter of fact, those of you who rolled well on your history earlier would know that these coins are minted by this man's house. However, one of the sides of the coin has been disfigured. It's been stamped on top of, and every single one of them looks to have been treated the same way.
This is clearly a message. This man was killed with his own home's coin, his own house's coin. This can't be coincidence.
But couldn't it be a coincidence? Not in my shop.
Sylvie.
We should move him, right? We should dump him somewhere.
We are in the city square. It is so busy. Oh, where are we going to put him?
I don't know. I'm not sure.
Do you have barrels or anything in the back? Old crates that fabrics came in?
I have a lot of old fabric. We could wrap him up.
But don't put him in fabric. People are going to know immediately what happened. They're going to come straight to you. I think we just need to dump him in the alley and call it good.
Well, it's the wrong time of the year. If it was the right festival, we could wrap him up and he would look like some sort of creature of the dead, and then we could just hide him in a display somewhere.
We could douse him in alcohol, put him in the square underneath a blanket, and dirty him up, and he would just look like he, drank himself to death.
So now we're moving
like
from
looking around at everyone like, you all heard that, right?
So I'm not suggesting that we stage his death. I'm just saying we get the body out of Sylvie's shop, because this guy has money and he was a powerful man.
Well, so much money he literally choked on it.
Yeah, that was odd.
They'll notice he's missing soon. We should We should do something. A man like this doesn't just not show up to his next appointment. And he
Shouldn't-
has appointments.
Why does he have no one with him?
Shouldn't he have guards or something?
Oh shit! I should probably check outside.
So, in the frantic moments that have transpired after this man has died here on the floor of Sylvie's shop, Vera, you noticed this as you were going to check him, but it was also Sylvie who, I guess maybe was shuttering the windows, that you also noticed this. Looking across the street, you see through the open window a strange-looking person staring right back at you. You realize after just a moment that they're not simply a hooded person. That beneath the hood, they're wearing an iron mask. Your eyes lock for just a moment, and then this hooded person turns and bolts.
Hey, Jeremy. Before they bolt,
Yes.
can I attempt to cast Detect Thoughts on them?
Possibly. What is the casting time?
It's one
Action.
action,
Okay.
and it's a Wisdom saving throw.
Okay. Wisdom. And what is the DC?
13.
Okay, I got a 16 on the die, so you
Okay.
don't get any kind of thoughts. And it's actually almost like a distinct lack of thoughts. If that makes any sense. It's not the kind of
Yeah.
it's not the kind of quiet of like there not being a presence there. It's like the kind of quiet that is being purposefully muted.
Okay. I'm just kind of reading through it either way. Okay. Thank you.
Okay.
Oh, somebody saw. There is someone out there.
Well, of
Probably
course
the one that
somebody
killed him.
saw. Somebody killed him.
Jeremy, I'm running to the door. I think I was already going that way at the mention of
It
guards
sounded like
to
it.
check.
Mhm.
So I would as soon as I hear Sylvie say that there's somebody outside, I'm going to bolt for the door.
Okay. You bolt to the door, throw it open, and just outside on the step, you see two guards wearing the same kind of colored livery and things that belong to the soon-to-be Viscount. Well, was soon-to-be Viscount. Both of them are hunched over, and you notice silver coins in their lap.
Any sign of anyone booking it away from the shop?
Without a doubt. You see like a swish of red disappear between two buildings across the street.
I'm going to go after him. And I just throw over my shoulder there's two dead guards out here. And then I just keep I just book it across the street.
As soon as Loxley says that, we see that there's guards. Chimeran's going to run out into the street and making as much commotion as possible, yell to the populace around here, someone, did you see? Someone killed these guards and the person inside and they're running away. And just basically, I want to cause as much chaos so that there's talk that a killer got away and that Loxley is chasing after them.
Perfect. Okay. So as Loxley is about to take off, and Chimeran is shouting in the street, what are the other three of you doing?
I want to pocket one of the coins. Slide it down into
Perfectly,
her
yeah,
corset
easy to
at
do.
top and swoop to keep it. And Do you want us to help you move him outside, or do you want to leave him here, Sylvie? What do you want?
I feel like Chimeran has made that choice for us.
This is very true. Okay.
Jeremy, did you say that there was like a dart in its neck?
Yes.
Okay, so I want to just grab a scrap of cloth of some sort and grab it like with the cloth and just wrap it up without touching it. Like pull it out of his neck if I can.
Absolutely. As you do so, and you pull this dart back, obviously some blood comes with it, but almost immediately you notice, both dripping from the wound and also dripping from the end of the dart itself, seems to be some form of like liquidy silver.
I think I have like a little vial. Like I have like a little glass vial in my pack. I think I bought some of those. So I want to grab one of those and just like let the poison drip into that before. And actually, I'll just put the whole thing in a glass vial. Just drop it in there, cork the top.
Okay. You notice as you're kind of like starting to do that, these drops, as they're falling, before they get very far, they expand into coins.
If somebody wasn't dead and it wasn't used to kill someone, that would be an amazing idea for a dress. Sorry, I'm panicking. That's all I can think about.
I guess after grabbing the dart, Guillaume will run out towards the street. If it seems like they're giving chase, he's not one to be left behind when interesting things are happening. And it seems like the interesting things have moved to the street.
Vera, what are you up to?
Vera's going to kind of look down and look around, and she's going to look over at Sylvie and say, I guess the black fabric's available? And then she's going to walk out into the street too.
Is your intention to give chase as well?
No, she's going to go to the door and kind of watch for maybe the city guard or something to not let anyone else in. She's going to kind of play door guard. She's not a chase them down and hunt them kind of person.
Now that no one's in the shop, Sylvie wants to go over to the body and she can't resist. She has to look through his stuff just to see. She's so curious what he has on him.
Sure. I would imagine there's no shortage of coin that you could very easily take, a purse's worth, if you wanted to. There's probably invitations to this this, I guess you would still call it a coronation. I don't know, whatever the ceremony would be called, where he would be announced officially as a Visconde. Other than that, probably a signet ring, just kind of that kind of stuff.
You said invitations, so there are multiple?
Yes.
Or just...
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh. And do they say his name, or are they just
It's, you are cordially invited to the crowning of, the newest Visconde of Aledalgo, and it has his name. It's all very nicely calligraphied, and has a very fine paper and all that kind of stuff on it.
She's going to take some of those. She's going to leave everything else, but she will take some of the invitations.
Okay. All right. So, I think, yeah. So as Lox and Guillaume take off after this, Chimeran, were you hanging around, or were you also giving chase?
No, I'm hanging around, making the scene, trying to make
Okay,
sure
you're
that
gonna stay.
we are not. Yeah.
Okay, excellent. So as Lox and Guillaume take off after this strange-looking individual, I think this is where we're going to actually take our break. So we're going to take 10 minutes, go to the bathroom, refill your drinks, kiss your spouses, smoke them if you got them, etc., etc. And I think we will be right back.
I shall return.
Okay, you should be good, yeah.
How are we already mixed up?
Hello, everyone. Welcome back from the break. We are here tonight with the second half of Session 1 of Evermore le Masquerade. So far, so good. This is fantastic. Hopefully everybody's having a good time, and hopefully everybody's having a good week. I hope everybody's having a good week. The weather here just turned, and it's been beautiful all day. The temperature here has dropped, and it feels fantastic outside. Always supposed to be in a good mood. Okay, and speaking of good moods, I get to play Dungeons & Dragons. So, let's get back to it, shall we? So, in the shop of Sylvie... I just lost it again. I was going to say Levine again. Levenu? Whatever.
Lavinia.
Lavinia?
Lavinia. Yep.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
In the shop of Sylvie Lavinia, excuse me, a man has been murdered. Not just any man. Someone who was due to become a Visconde, a Viscount of Alidalgo. He was already a consigliere, and began coughing up silver coins in a strange twist of fate, perhaps, as he was a silver merchant. A strange figure was seen outside, and now Locks and Guillaume are taking off after this individual through the streets and canals of Alidalgo. Meanwhile, still at the shop, Chimeran, Vera, and Sylvie herself are going to wait for the authorities to arrive. So, as they wait, first, Locks and Guillaume, the two of you take off on foot, following this individual. We are going to handle this chase as a skill challenge. So the DC for all of these rolls, for this scene, for this chase, are going to be at a DC of 14. The way that this is going to work is he is a number of steps ahead of you as this chase begins. Each success that you have is going to bring you one step closer. Each failure is going to increase the distance that he is from you. If he gets to a certain amount of steps ahead of you, you may lose him. So, he is also going to roll at the end of the round, and obviously the results will work in his favor instead of against. So, each of you, actually, let's do this first. I'll roll this first one here. All right, so the first, perfect. The very first leg of this chase is going to be going directly through a church. So if both of you would please describe to me how you pursue this individual through this church and what skill you're using for the roll for this round.
I am going to attempt to use acrobatics, and I think that it'll be basically, this person is running through. Is the church? Are there people in the church? Is it crowded in here?
Absolutely, yeah.
Okay, so I think he, if I can say so, he sort of he makes a beeline through the crowd that's sort of assembled in the center of this church. So he's sort of pushing his way through the crowd, and Locks just sort of leaps and is doing bounding over the back of the pews, just sort of balancing, and is sort of keeping pace with him. So I'm going to try and use acrobatics here.
Excellent. That's perfect.
Oh no, I rolled a 3 on the die, which brings my total to 8. And so I think Loxley goes ass over tea kettle. Just he makes it about 3 pews in, and his boot catches on one of the pews, and he just eats it, just disappears into the pews of this church.
Okay. Guillaume is okay. Let me know if you'll allow this, because I don't have any acrobatics or athletics, and that's not the way that Guillaume thinks. So he sees this crowd of people in this church in front of him, kind of in between him and his goal, and he'll very quietly mutter underneath, or wave his hand. Actually, I think this one just has a somatic component, and he'll cast his improved minor illusion to cast what seems like, let's call it like 6 rats that are squeaking, because I can make noise with minor illusion, in the very like center of this crowd, split the crowd, hopefully like a performance maybe. Okay, so I do a
Yeah, I'd be good with performance or arcana, either one.
+5 makes it a 14. Wait,
That's what
for arcana would be a 14. Sorry, for
either one.
Yeah.
So
Okay,
14 is
then
good.
that's
That's
just enough.
that's a success. All right.
Yeah, so the
Okay.
rats are like squeaking and hopping over each other, and people panic for a moment, and it creates just enough of a path through that he runs through, and they just like, he makes them kind of scatter to the edges as they disappear so that they're not as obvious.
You know, one person like, you know, puts their hand up to their brow and like faints backwards onto a pew at the sight of this enormous rat kind of scurrying across their feet, making plenty of room for Guillaume to kind of sprint across the church floor, just as this individual kind of barges out the side door that's typically used for, you know, members of the clergy. Okay, someone else, anybody else in the game can roll another d8. Oh wait, he has to roll. Hold on. He is going to... He's going to try... Deception. No luck, though. So that actually closes the gap just a bit. As he goes out the door, Guillaume, you notice he pushes the door open and takes a step back into the church and starts to duck behind a curtain that's nearby, trying to make it look like he went outside, and then notices that you're staring right at him, that you managed to pull this ploy off and have crossed the floor. And although he's lost precious time, he does duck out of the door, with a second kind of pushing it open. Okay, now, anybody that wishes to, if you could roll a d8 for me, please.
I got an 8.
An 8. Okay. The next leg of this chase is going through a construction site. So there's something nearby this church that is being built. So the two of you, once again, please describe how it is that you're crossing this new area, what skill you may be using, and any details that you would like to add. Good call, Karen. Absolutely. That's an annex to the church. That's perfect.
Okay, so there's a bit of scaffolding on the side of this annex that they're building, and Guillaume wants to make sure that he can like keep an eye on it. He knows that like he's not going to be necessarily as fast as Locks if they get out to like open ground, and he doesn't really necessarily want to be the one to catch him himself. So he's gonna try to climb the scaffolding to try to get like a bird's eye view, get on a little higher up to see if he can keep an eye on him. Maybe call directions out. And I'm guessing that's probably just like a straight athletics.
Yeah, athletics, possibly acrobatics.
So
I could see an argument for.
Okay, let's say he does it acrobatically so that I don't
Sure.
have a negative to this. Hey, that's a 17 on the die. So
Okay.
his scrawny limbs clamber up this scaffolding to get a perch and try to keep an eye on the guy, and maybe go the same direction as him, hopefully.
Okay, yeah, you managed to get yourself up high enough on this scaffolding that you can kind of look down and you can see this individual's red hood kind of bobbing and weaving through the crowd. You have a little bit of a bird's eye view. All right, how about Locks?
So Locks comes tumbling out of the side door of the church, clumsily, probably uttering "Oh, son of a bitch" as he's rolling down the stairs. And then he'll come up to his feet and start running again. I would like to try and man, I had an idea, but now I don't want to do it. If possible, I want to try and... No, I don't think that's going to work either. I'm sorry, I have like too many ideas.
No worries.
And none of them are good. I think I'm just going to try and like catch up to this guy and just push through anyone that's in my way. Like being nimble and quick didn't really work for me in the church. And so I think I'm just going to go straight athletics. And I'm just sort of shoving past people that are in my way. But every time I brush past someone, I'm going, sorry, excuse me, sorry. And I imagine I like accidentally shoulder the priest as I'm coming out of the church, and I go, apologies, Padre, and then like just keep running. So I'm gonna go for athletics here. Hey, that's a 15 on the die, plus 1, 16.
All right. The two of you are quickly closing the gap between you and this individual as he tries to continue to run from you. He is going to roll. He's going to try stealth this time around. Ooh, that's definitely going to work for him. Okay, for just a moment, both of you are kind of watching, and he seems to have basically just vanished from thin air. You don't catch sight of his red cloak. It's hard to tell what direction that he has gone. You can hear people kind of shouting, and it sounds like maybe that's the direction that he's gone. But for now, he's gained a little bit of ground on you guys. All right. Anybody else that wishes can roll a d8.
I got a 6.
6. Reroll that, please, because we had that already. This one that I got.
1.
A 1. Ah, excellent. Okay. So now we find ourselves crossing a precarious bridge of gondolas. So you're crossing a canal, and there's all of these gondolas that are parked or being used, and you're basically having to cross the canal by jumping from one of these to the next. So yes, once again, if you would describe how your character is interacting with this obstacle and what skill that you're going to be using.
Lox reaches the edge of the canal, and he says, can I borrow this for a minute? And he grabs one of the poles that the like gondola, what are they called? Pilots? I don't know. What do you call a poker?
I would imagine it would be a pilot.
Yeah.
Or a gondolier.
Gondolier. I grab one of the poles from one of these gondoliers, and I'm essentially going to pole vault across the canal. I sort of stick it into the bottom and pole vault across. Doing acrobatics here. Okay, 10 on the die plus 5, 15 all up.
Excellent. It's another success. All right, so as you're
I make sure to push it back toward the gondolier. I don't want to inconvenience him.
All right. So yeah, as you're kind of like pole vaulting across the canal, you kind of reach the other side, and as you're kind of passing the apex of this kind of arc, you spot his cloak again ahead, just kind of rounding a corner up ahead. Guillaume?
Guillaume will he runs up to the edge of this canal where this line of gondolas is, and like looks at it for a second, looks down at his clothing, shakes his head, like takes a few steps back and takes a running like jump to try to just like run over the gondolas like James Bond over alligators. That's a nat 20. I think that's the first one I've rolled on this die.
Damn.
How about that? Right. I really thought I was going to go into the water there.
Okay.
I was like 90% sure.
So that counts as 2 successes. And he was only 2 steps ahead at this point. So, Guillaume, we're going to come back to you in just a moment and be thinking about how, like, as you're leaping across, you catch up with this guy. I'll give you a little bit of a detail as to where this is going to take place. But for now, we kind of jump back to where this chase started, back at the shop, where the 3 of you are waiting for the authorities to arrive. It doesn't take them very long. And sure enough, soon there are members of the Justicaros who arrive. It's pretty obvious who they are as they're arriving because of the scarlet color of their robes. But individually, one of them seems to be the one who's kind of in charge of this, I guess you would call it an assignment. She walks in through the front of the shop, eyeing the dead guards as she passes them. This half-orc woman then steps inside and kind of looks around, very quickly finding the body on the floor. And she turns to look at the 3 of you. What is going on here?
So Chimeran, having seen her like arrive to the shop, has kind of like followed her in, doing his weak foppish persona. So basically, babbling at the mouth about this horrible thing that just happened, and close to tears. It looks like he's going to burst into tears at any moment. He's terrified, and he is just talking this woman's ear off the entire way as he follows her into the shop where she finds the dead bodies.
She kind of nods along as Chimeran is talking in her ear, but it doesn't seem overly like she's paying too much attention to what you're actually saying.
She might when she sees the body, because he's been talking about how some stranger just shot this man, and he started spewing coins, and then he just collapsed here on the floor, and it's just he's making flourishing, not quite exaggerations, but almost exaggerating what happened, and making sure that in the entire story that he's providing that we are all innocent bystanders. I want to make that very clear. While he's, almost in tears, he wants her pity, and he's complaining about now his caution's ruined. He's not going to be going out tonight, and why did this happen? And poor Sylvie. I mean, this was in her shop, and I don't know how we're going to deal with this.
Perhaps you should wait outside. Gather yourself.
Come, dears. And he'll grab Vera and maybe even Sylvie and Costanza, or the maid. Yeah.
Not just yet. Cameron, you can, or she doesn't know your name. You can wait outside. The rest, I would prefer to stay for just at least a moment. I have heard your version of things.
So Vera was kind of watching the door to watch from when they were coming. So when she saw that they were starting to approach the door and starting to come in, she would have grabbed probably Sylvie and pulled her over by some sort of couch or something, and then flung herself dramatically onto the couch and kind of just almost instantaneously turns the waterworks on with just tears coming down, and she's getting this kind of pale look, and she's this very, very dramatic, like traumatized thing that she's going through, and looked at Sylvie and just wait. I need air. I need air. Oh, this bodice is so tight. I need air. And she's just over dramatizing this whole part of this as it's going on.
Did you see anything?
He was. I've never seen something so. Oh man, he died, and he was choking on things, and there was someone in metal and covered, and it was so. It was like from a nightmare. And she's just going on and on with this.
Tell me about it.
There was. I turned and looked out the window, and this horrible man was there, and then I turned back, and the other one died.
Forgive me,
it was
madam.
just terrible, and I just don't even.
You misunderstood. I meant tell me about the nightmare. I understand all too well. You may wait outside with your counterpart. Perhaps the two of you can console one another.
She'll attempt to get up off the couch, but she'll be too dizzy and kind of like fall back down for a minute and like lay there and just I just need a moment, please. I'm fine here.
Very well. You are the proprietor of this establishment? Yes?
Oh, oui. Yes.
You seem to be the most calm one here. So perhaps you can tell me what has happened.
Well, it is like they said, and I am in shock right now. So
I see.
it is just as they described. He started spilling coins out of his mouth, and then he just died. She like gestures to where he had crumpled. Right there.
She kind of turns and looks at the body almost for the first time, really. She walks over and kind of crouches down beside him, very carefully kind of sticking her gloved hand out to roll him over onto his shoulder just a little. I know this man. This is a very important individual. He is a consigliere. Did you know this?
Yes, he made that quite evident when he came in and requested one of my beautiful outfits. As you can see, that is what I do very well.
Yes, I'm sure they're lovely. What is... She kind of like leans closer. There is a wound here on his neck. It has... She kind of like reaches out and wipes with her finger, her gloved finger. Some kind of silver? Some kind of holds her fingers up to her nose and sniffs. Poison? This man seems to have been poisoned.
Perhaps that would explain the coins coming out of his mouth. I don't know how else that would have gotten there. The windows were all open, as also.
So someone from outside your store somehow poisoned him. She kind of like starts to look around on the floor as if she's searching for something.
I do not like that word you just used. Somehow they did poison him from out of the store.
This person, did you happen to see them?
No. There,
I see.
there was a flash of movement, but that is it. I was too busy worrying about my client who just keeled over and, well, died.
One of the other robed justicaros who's in the room, kind of with you, standing by the door, says to this captain, this half-orc, "If Viscount's murderer is going to demand an arrest, Capitan." She nods. She kind of takes off this wide-brimmed crimson hat and kind of sets it on the ground. "Yes, I know." And he says, "We could just arrest all of them."
Or you could arrest the person who did this and do your job.
He kind of bristles a little, and the half-orc kind of holds up that gloved hand towards him, almost like telling him to back off. "We will not be arresting these people. I do not believe that they had any doing in this matter. But I have the distinct feeling that I'm not being told the whole story."
I think at that moment you hear Chimeran from outside the shop go, wailing, "Oh no, it was the Vicomte! What about the party?"
Those of you who are in the shop can see this half-orc kind of reach up and massage either side of her nose, kind of just at the inside of her eyes, in clear frustration. "So, from what I gather, someone outside of your shop somehow delivered a poison to this man, the Viscount, as he was standing here in your shop. Some magic, I suppose, turned this poison into coins, and he choked to death on these coins, right in front of all of you. And then he got away without any of you seeing anything. Does that sound correct?"
Oui, yes. That is why you are the police figuring all of this out with your big brains.
"Flattery does not work with me, madam. Only the truth is important here." "Very well. We will gather his body, and there may be further questions. All of you, if you would, you are not under arrest, but I would like for you to come with me."
Let me just close up shop, please. I don't want anything more happening in here. Well, this is a crime scene.
Of course. They begin kind of preparing the body to move. Okay. Yeah, go ahead.
So, yeah, Sylvie looks to Vera and just kind of like nods back as she goes into like the back room.
She'll kind of get up and follow Sylvie in the back and let me help you Let me help you close up so we can get out of here faster. She'll follow her into the back.
Well, this is not good.
No. Do we tell them about the guys that are chasing the man? Or do we not tell them? I don't know what to do. I mean, there's kind of someone to blame. Maybe they'll arrest Guillaume.
I think he might actually like that, but I this is very it's a very hard predicament. I don't like the idea of going with them, but I don't think we have a choice. Also, I don't know how much we should tell them about the man, and in case he doesn't want witnesses. Who knows?
There was something not right about him. But I agree. Maybe we can. I mean, I could feign being very ill and ask you to take me home, and let's see if they'll let you take me home, so we can not go with them.
Yeah, I think that they will take us, which is fine. But just keep, yeah. I don't know. I don't trust them.
No. But I'm just so utterly traumatized by this. And she'll help close up the back door and everything, and then
Yeah, Sylvie
close
will
shutters.
clean up.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
While they're in the back doing all this, Cameron would love to provide a distraction to the guards so that they're not noticing how long it's taking them. Plus, with the ulterior motive of annoying the hell out of them so that maybe they just decide that it is not worth their time to take us down with them.
Okay. Damn, I don't know what what skill to have you roll to be annoying.
Performance?
Performance, diplomacy, even I guess could be. That's not a thing anymore, is it? Persuasion.
No.
Persuasion would probably be what it falls under.
Well, it depends. Are you truly an annoying person? Otherwise, it might be deception.
Oh, I like the idea that it's deception because that's my better skill.
No, I'm actually delightful. So every time I'm annoying, it's a lie.
It literally doesn't matter because I rolled a nat 20. So
well, okay.
It's going to be 25 or higher, depending on what skill you pick.
All right. So the two of you who kind of have stepped into the back for just a moment, you can hear Chimeran just continuing on, almost just nonstop, at a very loud volume, unnecessarily loud. And when you return, when you come back out onto the shop floor or what have you, this half orc has both of her hands up, kind of between her and Chimeran, almost in a contest, like a show of no contest. It's kind of please, just stop for a moment. Maybe you need a glass of wine or something to still your nerves a bit, but no, please just stop. She's just at her wit's end. Look, I am willing to let you all go for now. There will be further questions, but we can come and find you at a later time. Please, if you would, give your addresses to my I don't know what you would call him, my subordinate here. He will take down your information. We will be in touch with you, but I have one further question before I release you. You say that he was poisoned somehow. This wound upon his neck. Something pierced his skin at the neck, and I see nothing that could have done this. I've looked around your shop. Have you, any of you, found anything that could have done this? If you have, that would be very important evidence in this case. If it is being withheld for any reason, that would look very bad. She kind of like levels with a lot of heavy meaning behind it.
Chimerian profusely denies knowing anything about whatever it was. In fact, he even says that you told us he was poisoned.
I am sure that if I find anything that might have rolled underneath a piece of furniture or something, you will be the first to get it.
She gets that kind of nod as she like looks to each of you in turn, where she doesn't entirely buy everything, but she doesn't have anything else to push right now. She doesn't have any other avenues to follow. So she's kind of nodding in resignation. Very well. If you have given your information to the Justicaro, then you are free to go. As long as you take him with you. And she indicates Chimeran.
I think Vera will walk up to Chimeran and kind of slip her arm in his, and let's go back to the Castillo. We can get something to drink there.
He reaches over and grabs the sleeve of your dress and pats his eyes and knows that would be best.
It's like an embroidered silk handkerchief.
She's got this like super mad like look on her face and literal levels of disgust as he's sniveling on her wardrobe here.
Oh man. Okay. After a few moments, they collect the Visconde's body, and they leave with it. So leave your shop, Sylvie, and you're free to finish closing up if you'd like. So it sounds like Chimeran and Vera are both headed to Vera's establishment. And where is Sylvie going? What's Sylvie up to?
Yeah, when Sylvie closes up, she'll join them.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. We don't even have to actually go there. I was just...
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah.
It's all good.
So...
To the whorehouse.
Yeah, and as soon as they're out of eye shot, Chimeran drops the act and, pats Vera's arm a little bit, kind of tries to wipe off the damage he's done. Superficially, he doesn't really care.
I cannot decide. Oh, sorry.
No, please.
As they're walking, I cannot decide whether my business is now ruined because everyone will think they will die in my shop now, or my business will start to boom because everyone wants to see where the Viscount died. Here, it really could be either way.
And I promise you, Sylvie, we'll do our best to make sure it is the latter.
Yes, dear.
Because your shop deserves all the celebrity that we can give it. Though it does mean I expect a little bit of something in return.
I will not charge you double anymore for your clothes.
You can see he's kind of taken aback a little bit and then lets out the heartiest laugh as if Like a true laughter. You got me, Sylvie.
Don't you worry. We'll definitely make sure that your shop is a point of interest. Now let's talk about my dress for the festival. And she'll go on to describe this dress idea that she has as they're walking down the street. We have these new fish at the Castillo. Very beautiful fins that flow in the water, and they're whites and golds and blacks, and when the sun reflects off of the black, it does something similar to that fabric that you were showing.
Oh, don't even think about that fabric. That is mine.
I don't want all of it, dear. Just part of it. Just pieces of it as
He looks-
accents.
He looks you up and down. A very little part of it. You can't wear, not swathing that body.
And yes. And a mask to match. Perhaps two of the fish entwined and flowing into my hair.
This is why you are my favorite, Vera.
Sylvie, I'm hurt. I thought I was your favorite.
The pain of silence.
I do believe it's perhaps your pocketbook that is her favorite.
All right. So we leave the three perhaps a little cold-hearted individuals as they walk away from a murder and discuss what they will be wearing for this festival upcoming. And we head back across a few blocks away to find what Lox and Guillaume have gotten up to with this individual. Guillaume, you have leapt off of this scaffolding, hurled yourself headlong over these gondola, and you have crashed into, and I'll let you describe how and exactly what the situation is. You recognize, you probably have actually even been here. This is an elven bathhouse called La Darendille. It is heavily obscured in this room because of steam, and people are beginning to already scatter as you enter the space. But how is it that you enter the space and corner this individual?
Okay, so I've been thinking about this a lot. This might sound overcomplicated. So as Guillaume is running towards the gondolas, that he's a little bit behind Loxley at this point. Loxley has just tossed back the pole, and the guy that's standing on the gondola, like the gondolier, is like trying to, like, he's like reaching to catch it. And as he's doing that, Guillaume kind of like runs past him, kind of jostling him. So he does catch it, but he's using it to try to steady himself right as Guillaume lands in the last gondola. And him trying to steady it pushes this gondola forward. And it happens to be that they're at like kind of near a T-junction. And he's like, so this gondola just flies down the canal with him kind of like riding it, just trying not to fall off as like desperately as he can. But he kind of like almost catches up with the guy right as he gets into this, like he bolts into this bathhouse, and the gondola kind of like crashes to a halt at another kind of edge. This seems like a little shipping lane or something, or loading dock area. And he just like hops off of the gondola and bolts after him into the bathhouse.
So you enter this room that's kind of filled with this steam. It's difficult to see more than about 5 feet or so ahead of you. Most of the people in here seem to have scrambled out, a number of exits, or maybe even the door that you were coming through. And you can feel that you're not alone in here. Just that sensation that there's definitely someone still in this room with you. About that time, Loxley, you're coming up, and people completely devoid of any kind of form of clothing whatsoever are like rushing past you with panic like written all over their faces.
Lox.
You hear Guillaume just yelling out, like, "Come on, take the hood off, have a sweat, let's talk."
Lox comes stumbling in, sweat shining on his sort of blue-green skin. When'd you get so quick, Guillaume? And as people are running past, he goes, "How's it going? Hey."
I rowed a boat. It was really cool.
And Lox will kind of reach down and loosen the sword in its scabbard, and he'll kind of nod to Guillaume, and I imagine that the two of us kind of fan out in this room, just sort of like peering around.
Listen, we really just want to talk. I'm a thinker, not a fighter.
Not get involved in affairs that do not concern you.
You make a fair point. I would say counterpoint. You probably shouldn't murder people in very crowded places, because clearly some of the people there might be worried that blame may fall upon them and then feel compelled to chase you.
Yeah, you involved us when you murdered someone in our friend's shop. We're just making sure we don't get implicated.
3 someones. You killed 3 people.
3 people.
I may have to add 2 more to that list before the day is through.
Why don't you come out and show yourself then? Make it a fair fight.
Very well. You choose to meddle. Then I am forced to end you both.
Wait, hold on. I mean, maybe you don't have to show yourself right now. Maybe the two of us, we lost you on the run, and we tell the Justicaros we don't know anything. We did what we could, but and he starts kind of just trying to like edge towards a door. Just try to like get a good idea of where a door is so that I can run if I need.
Yeah, the door that you came through seems to be the only real entrance or exit from this room. You're guessing that that's probably why the chase has stopped. It seems like you've basically cornered him. So you can put yourself near the door, absolutely. But I would say that it would probably also cross your character's mind that you are blocking the only exit that this individual would be able to take. Just do with that what you will.
Noted.
Okay.
No, I don't take kindly to threats. Come on, let's see what you look like.
You have chosen this. Remember that.
Suddenly, Loxley, a figure leaps out of the steam towards you, blade brandished. I need you What is your armor class?
15 is my armor class.
Okay. Well, because he was attacking from hidden, he had advantage on the attack. And a 17 is going to land a blow.
Cool.
Okay, so let's... when this individual lunges out at you, you can see the gleam of this longsword. And it has a familiar kind of glow to the edge. This doesn't look like a run-of-the-mill sword. It looks similar to the way your blade looks after you conjure it. But when he drives it home, this individual undoubtedly knows his craft well. And he drives this sword through your abdomen. You're going to take 8 points of slashing and 9 additional points from sneak attack.
Hey.
Do you still want to die here, brave one?
Lox hasn't even got his blade out of its scabbard. He stumbles backwards, holding his gut. All right. All right. You beat me. I'm bested. What happens now? We just leave you?
The two of you will remain. I will leave. After a moment, you are free to go. If you attempt to implicate what you have seen of me, you will see me again.
You don't have to worry about that. I don't talk to Justicaros.
And you, by the door. Will you talk?
Don't know what you're talking about. And he's moving away from the door like, I don't know. Talk about what? I literally saw nothing today. I went to the shop. I got a nice new set of duds, and then I left. And I think I bought an apple at the market, but that's about all I can remember.
This individual kind of strafes sideways, keeping his blade pointed in the direction of you both as he approaches the door. And if Guillaume has stepped several steps away from the entrance, then he will move towards that entrance. And as he does so, he pauses in the doorway, just kind of looking in your direction, not able to fully make out anything more than just your forms in this kind of misty room. And you can both see the shape, the silhouette of his blade dissipate as he opens his hand and then turns and disappears through the doorway in a swirl of mist.
Jeremy, can I try something sort of retroactively, if you don't mind?
Sure. Absolutely, yeah.
So when he stabbed me, if at all possible, I would have liked to have tried to kind of lean into the stab and just very quickly slip my hand into his cloak and grab whatever I could from him to see if I can grab something off of him.
Ooh, interesting. Okay. Let's do a sleight of hand roll.
Cool. I'm pretty good at that. That is 17 on the die plus 3 sleight of hand. That's a dirty 20.
Wow. Okay. So you managed to basically pull this entire leather satchel. It's probably, 10 inches long by about 5 inches wide and about an inch deep. And it's kind of this folded leather almost probably very similar to like your tools kit, your thieves tools would normally be stored. It's a container like that. It's like the leather satchel. You managed to kind of pull that out and tuck it away before he has made his departure.
So then when he sort of, disappears out the door, Lox kind of immediately sinks to the floor, blood just gushing from this wound. And I'll say, all right, well, he stabbed me real bad, but I got this off of him.
Oh, well done. Well done. He immediately reaching for a healing potion. Like, here, come on, lay down, lift your shirt, and he'll like pour a bit of the potion on the wound itself and then give you the rest to drink.
Thank you. How much does that give me? 1d8?
It's whatever a standard healing. I think it's 2d4.
Yeah, I think it's 2d4 plus 2, usually, if it's just out of the book.
Got it.
Yeah, it's just the basic one.
2,
2d4 plus 2.
3, and then plus 2. So I get 5 back. So I mean, I'm in a little bit better shape, but there's definitely like a loss of like color. Like he's looking a little bit more pallid than he usually does. The hand is kind of shaking, and you see that, the sword just loose in its scabbard, but not drawn. It looks a little shaken. You probably haven't seen Lox like this before, but he'll kind of hand the bag to you, stained with his own blood, and say, "What do we got in there?"
Yeah, he'll immediately start opening it up, seeing what's in it.
You know what? On second thought, let's get the hell out of here and go somewhere that's not here and look at it. Maybe with the others.
That's not a bad idea. Although I will say, I'm pretty sure that guy is going to be anywhere but here right now. This might be literally the last place he'll look, unless he realizes that we took this. All right, let's go. He's
going to very soon, and so we should probably go very quickly.
Yeah, let's get out of here.
Cool.
I'll pay for the gondola.
And he kind of claps you on the back and says, "It's real nice of you, Guillaume. Thank you."
What's the point in having a rich father if you don't pay for things?
Fantastic. All right, so as the two of you are wheeling away on a gondola that you have hired, this gondolier, singing this very practiced song about love and romance, because that seems to be what everybody is requesting currently in the city of Aladalgo. The two of you are able to kind of maybe even huddle a little close together and kind of open this leather satchel and look inside. And you're, yeah, absolutely. And when you open this leather satchel, you find like these stitched, I don't know what you would call them, but basically these rows where something would have slipped into it. There are 3 of them that are empty. And then there's an additional 3 that are these darts that look identical to the dart that you took, Guillaume. And in addition, there is a vial at the end of this row, if you will, that is completely empty, but you can see a form of residue on the inside of it.
All right, so the poison, right? And then what's that empty bottle?
Maybe what the poison was stored in before the darts were loaded. I don't know.
Antidote for the poison?
Could be. I mean, I can try to study it, try to take some time, figure out what's in it.
Guillaume, if you would,
yes,
roll me an Arcana check.
I'm going to use one of them inspiration points because I feel like I'm. Oh. I rolled the exact same number. Boo. All right. Well, let me erase that inspiration point. Arcana check. That's going to be a 9 all told.
Okay. So you recognize on each of these darts, there are actually runes that are carved, made into these darts near the tip, but you have no idea what they mean. But they definitely look arcane in nature.
I'm going to be honest, Lox. I don't know what this means, but I have a feeling that if I bring this to the Justicaros, I'm going to look very, very guilty with both the satchel and the dart that was pulled out of the Visconde. I was planning on giving that to them, but
we're not bringing anything to the Justicaros. And my hope, my dream, is that the other three aren't currently talking to the Justicaros.
Oh, yeah, that's probably. I hope not. I was thinking it would probably be good if they knew that we were chasing after them, just so we wouldn't look like we did it. But after we let him go, I can't imagine that it's going to look good for us.
No, yeah, we got to lay low. We can't go back to Sylvie's.
No, if I know Vera, there's a good chance that they'll end up at the brothel.
Well, hey, maybe we could go there.
I knew you would say that. And yes, let's.
Okay.
You know what I want to do after almost getting killed? The brothel. That's how you complete the day. Perfect. All right, so after a bit of time, you managed to make your way back to Vera's establishment. And yeah, is there anything that the three of you that were there first are getting up to? Well, yeah, anything that you're getting up to before the other two arrive?
Drinking.
Mm-hmm.
Probably quite a bit.
Drinking sounds good. There might also be a sweet little number that looks enticing.
Yeah, just service. Whatever is needed is there. Food, drink, otherwise.
Company. Okay.
Company.
So the three of you are probably, at this point, probably two, maybe even onto your third glass, if you are indulging that much. I would imagine probably wine. That's, I would imagine, the most common thing in Gerdes. At least in my mind it is. So, and, you know, Chimera, you have, you know, this lovely kind of hanging off of you or sitting on your lap, whatever it is that you're permitting them to do. And Lox and Guillaume stroll in the front door. Bold as day.
Guillaume is all like smiles and levity, and he's like greeting people. And like when he walks in, he does his fanfare. Like he's got the smoke and he announces his entrance. He doesn't want it to seem like anything is off. And he's, you know, he's smiling and like, oh, it's good to see you again. Like kind of clapping people on the back and like, yeah, I'll have the regular. Like I'll have the usual. He's been here a few times.
Lox follows behind, sort of stopping for a moment at the door jamb to just like catch his breath. And just pale, kind of sweaty, very apparent sort of blood stains on the front of his clothes. And he will likely sort of stumble over to whatever table the other three are sitting at and just sink into a bench and toss the bag into the center of the table and go, got stabbed, found a bag.
Vera, my dear, I'm sure this establishment has a fine physician on hand, right? You've got enough staff. I would assume things get rowdy around here from time to time. We can take care of our good friend here. And he's just putting the big smile on, like the jovial tone, and hoping that that's all that people are actually hearing around them.
Mm-hmm. Imagine when they get in, Vera's probably got Sylvie with, you know, holding a bottle, and they're over by this pond she was talking about with these fish, and these guys walk in, and she'll look at Lox and yes, a doctor, yes, and send one of the house girls off to run down the road and get the physician or whatever and bring them back to have him looked at. What are you okay, let's not talk about this here. And she'll pick up the satchel off the table and usher everyone into a side room. And as you're walking into the room, it seems like the walls in this room are like, as you're walking through the door, you realize that the door and the wall frame's like thicker. Like, and there's this room in particular, all of the walls are covered in very thick velvety type fabrics and heavy brocades and all that kind of stuff. And even the table and the couches are all very heavily fabriced furniture, all used to absorb sound. So, and then she'll kind of shut the door.
Guillaume will turn to Chimera and say, this room costs extra. Worth every penny, though.
Of course I know.
The arm candy that was hanging around Chimeran is following Chimeran towards this room with, like, her arms or his arms draped kind of around Chimeran's neck, kind of somewhat drunkenly. Oh, are we going to have a party?
My dear. No, I'm so sorry. And
So
he kind of like sighs,
soon?
kisses, gives her a big kiss. We will take this up later. But for now, my dear, he pats her on the tush. You must leave.
And as the door is closing, Guillaume says, "But what are you two doing on Saturday?"
All right, so the door kind of closes with that kind of sound that a soundproof room has. When the door shuts, there's almost that kind of vacuum sound, that kind of noise, and the five of you are left to yourselves in this very, very nicely appointed room.
The authorities showed up. They took the body. I was so traumatized that I could barely speak. But they did inquire about the wound on the neck. And Sylvie did swear to search the building and find it.
I said if I find it,
If you find it, yes.
Them. But I suppose I won't find it, will I?
I was thinking you wouldn't, but now that we have this, I think we may be able to find out everything we need to find out without this. And he'll pull the little vial with the it's got a coin, 3 coins that are stacked up from these drops, and the little needle on top of it. I think you can probably say that you found this, because, and he'll look down to the satchel. I've got plenty more to test.
I don't think we should get any deeper into this shit, personally.
I just think it'll get eyes off us if they're not looking for this one last thing at Sylvie's shop.
You heard that guy. He said if we talk to anyone, he's coming back. If we give the Justicaros the dart,
they don't know that he doesn't know that I took it.
We don't know that I took what he knows, Guillaume. He disappeared. He stabbed me in the gut. He conjured a sword from thin air.
He knows that there were 2 guards outside that died the same way with the darts in them. And then he found the wound on the man's neck and now can't find the dart. That's what he knows.
If we do not return this dart, if Sylvie does not find it, Sylvie will be looked at through a microscope. They have those back then, right? A little tiny thing that makes things look bigger.
They should invent one of those.
Yeah,
But
if they don't have
still,
it already, they should.
I think
If only we knew someone smart enough to do that.
I don't think he has any reason to know that we took the dart out. And I don't think if he was planning on leaving it there in the body, it seems to me like we should just pretend like we left it there. I wanted it because I thought maybe he had an accomplice, and I thought maybe if I didn't take it, it would disappear with the body or from the body. But now we don't need it. We have this. We have so many of them. I can do whatever experiments I can to try to find out what, and I can look up these runes. I don't know what any of these mean, but there's clearly some sort of magic at work here.
Sylvie wants to look at these runes on these. Does she recognize them at all, or
You can roll
anything?
an Arcana check.
Maybe I will. Maybe my dice roller doesn't work. 1 second.
Well, that's always nice. It's just like technology. When you need
Buttons
it,
just disappeared.
that's when it's gonna abandon you.
17.
Okay. So I'll let you decide how it is that you recognize these runes. But you recognize these runes as being integral to creating bags of holding.
So Sylvie looks at these for a while, and then she just,
What you got, Sylvie?
Well, it's actually a very, very funny story. There was this one beautiful, beautiful dress where we had these bags that were filled with whatever. They seemed to be endless in what you could put them in. And so we put them in this dress, and it was revolutionary. No one had ever done this before. Put these bags in dresses. No one had ever done this. But when I went to the person to learn how to do this, these runes look the same.
So what? They're darts that are holding something? Like a pocket?
Like they're bigger on the inside?
I don't know. It might be. Maybe it has more poison in it.
I mean,
Or
it
they're
makes
literally
sense.
teleporting coins into people's esophagus.
Is that as well?
I watched it drip from the edge of from the end of the needle when I first picked it up, and each drop turned into a coin. So it doesn't seem like teleportation magic, but I could be wrong.
Whatever this is, whatever these folks are trying to do, it doesn't concern us.
But so you're saying that little thing, and she'll point to the empty dart. You're saying that little thing is actually a big bag that can hold things?
Maybe not exactly. It uses the same magic.
So then when you pull something out of these special bags, it just appears?
Oui, yeah. Yes. So, did we land on a decision on whether I am giving this to them or not?
I
I think you should,
I
Sylvie.
think you
It would
should.
take the suspicion off of you and your store.
For the Justicaros, yes, but it would signal to these, whoever they are, that we are collaborating with the Justicaros to try and solve this crime.
You do also
I'd rather
know,
deal with the Justicaros than that guy.
all of you would also know that the Justicaros are not the only group that enforces the law in the city. There is also La Estudia, which are used to be the King's Guard and have been kind of usurped somewhat by the Justicaros whenever the Padre Primero was named, because the Padre Primero and the Justicaros serve the same church. So he has slowly been replacing the duties of La Estudia with the Justicaros. So the La Estudia still has authority. They've just had a lot of their duties kind of slowly stripped away. But especially here in Al Hidalgo, they still hold quite a bit of authority. So there is another option if you do wish to try to turn this in, but you don't want to go to the Justicaros.
I think
It should also
if she
be
doesn't,
noted, the two groups do not like each other, just as a...
Does I'm taking it you caught the guy because you stole this from him. But does he know that you have the dart? Because the last he knows, he left it in the body, which the Justicaros would have found had you not actually taken it out of the body, Guillaume.
That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
That's a fair point.
Mhm.
I think it's likely that this metal masked man is honestly, Locks, I don't like saying this, but I kind of think he might come after you anyway, because he's probably going to figure out that you're the
Shit.
one that was close enough to get that bag.
Right.
Yeah. So, I mean, if the Justicaros are on his ass, that might make it a little easier for us. The more they know, the better. But let's not have them hear it from us. Let's just, Sylvie, you can just tell them you found it. It was right under something in your shop, and it's just something that somebody dropped.
I think it's your call, Sylvie. It happened in your shop. You have the most to lose. You make the decision.
Oh, and we
I
didn't
think-
mention you guys were there. Just so you know.
Hey, thanks. That means a lot, actually.
Got your back, Locks.
But I think Guillaume's right. I think I'm kind of fucked. So either way.
That's not a lie.
I think at this, Sylvie would look and see that probably whatever you're wearing is broken because where you were stabbed. And so Sylvie, let me, can I just fix, sorry, it's very distracting. And so she would
By all means.
so she's going to cast, so she's going to mend it. But in addition, I'm going to use one of my artificer abilities, which I can choose a non-magical object and make it so that, and imbue them with magic and turn them into a magic item. And one of my abilities lets you gain 1 to your armor class.
That's awesome. Very cool.
So now you have 1 to your armor class. And you have a magical whatever you're wearing.
Yeah, killer. Awesome. Thank you.
So yeah, as she kind of mends it up, Perfect. Yeah, and you will have that as long as you're wearing that armor until Sylvie dies.
Then we have to keep Sylvia alive at all costs.
So,
That was already
yeah.
the plan.
I do think that it would be the best to just tie up loose ends, give it to them, just the Carl, and just be done. I agree.
Okay.
And Locks, maybe don't stay where you normally were planning to stay tonight. You can probably stay at my place. It's I don't think he might find us there, but there's guards.
No, it's. I don't want this shit to blow back on anybody else. I'll find my own way. Thanks, Guillaume.
I was going to offer you a room here for the night.
I don't know, Vera. They already saw you. They might already know who you are. I don't want them snooping around your place. I'm not trying to be a martyr here. I'm just saying, if he's coming after me, and he may very well be because I stole his stuff, I should lay low for a bit. Keep my head down.
Oh, speaking of keeping your head down, I have these. And then Sophie pulls out the invitations. It could be something to get your mind off of it. It could be something fun.
Is that a party? It's a party invite. Party invite? Yeah. Maybe.
I don't want to be I don't want to rain on anyone's parade here, but if the guest of honor is dead, does the party still happen?
Well, I mean,
They
Why
probably
not?
already paid for the food and stuff, so it might.
exactly. Like you've spent all that time and energy, you've invited all these people. Why let it go to waste?
That's fair. Turin was a bit of a dick too.
Yeah, he was.
I mean, my father's a Visconde. Do I mention it all the time and find a reason
Yes.
to lord it
Yes,
over everyone's
you do.
head?
You
Yes,
quite a
you
bit.
do.
Yes.
Just the other
Yes.
one, Gondola ride here, you mentioned it
Obviously.
like 3 times. We weren't even talking about it.
We've been in the room for
Obviously
like
I
5
do.
minutes, and
You just
But I'm
mentioned it
not
right now.
But I'm not a dick about it.
Yes.
Yeah, you kind of are, though.
All right. Well, you learn something about yourself every day.
but one
But hey,
thing
Guillaume,
about
if you get killed, we'll still have a party. Don't worry.
a
The
celebration of
outfits
life.
will be beautiful.
Yeah.
Okay, but like my birthday's coming up, and I do want all of you to tell me that on my birthday, if I do die, none of you will eat cake. You'll just be sad instead.
Well,
I'll probably have cake. I'm not
I
even
can't
going to lie
promise.
to you.
I can't make any promises, Guillaume. I'm
Could you
sorry.
be kind of
No,
sad
it's
while you eat the cake?
Well,
I will be as sad
if it's
for
really
you.
bad cake,
I will be as sad for you as I was for that horrible situation in the shop today.
That wounds me, Vera. I'm not gonna lie.
I was traumatized. I could barely get off the couch.
it's true.
it's true.
They saw it.
What's new?
Yeah, what's the update on that physician, by the way?
Yeah, I imagine.
Barbs are not the only thing that we're stabbing. Witty barbs were not the only thing stabbing people today. So if we could get someone.
She'll go outside and check. Is the doctor in?
Yes, I would imagine so. Just
Okay.
kind of standing there waiting. It's kind of, and I imagine in this setting, it being a fantasy setting, that most of the doctors are probably priests. They're probably clerics, priests or priestess. So I imagine coming to a brothel, even if that's a fairly normal thing for this particular cleric, they're probably like standing in the middle of the room, kind of like holding on to their like supply kit or whatever, kind of close to them, just kind of not really wanting to touch anything or engage in anything.
She'd walk out and walk up to the priest and give a polite nod. One of my
Hello, Vera.
Hello, dear. One of my dearest friends was attacked in the middle of the street. It was horrendous. Can you check on him for me?
Goodness. Of course. Yes, I've heard that there's been quite a commotion. Not far from here. Does it have anything to do with that? Was your friend involved in the attack?
Oh no, I feel that the people who attacked him used that commotion as a distraction to cover their own horrible deeds.
What is Alidalgo coming to?
It's an absolute shame. He's right this way.
Of course. And he'll kind of fall in behind you. Within moments, Lox, he'll have you patched up, applying basically as much healing as you need to get back to full.
Cool. And
go ahead.
I will give him like a couple of gold coins, like for your temple.
Thank you. Your donation is very, very welcome. May the blessing
me up.
may the blessing of Strona be upon you. Strona is the goddess of life.
Hey, likewise, yeah, for sure, definitely.
The rest of you, if you would please, make another history check. If you happen to have any kind of dealings with poison, you can have advantage on this roll.
I'm gonna say with my kind of less than savory background, I might have like some limited experience with poisons, at least mundane ones.
Yeah, I think with my like hobbyist alchemist affinity as well.
Wow, okay. So Guillaume, you know that there is a local expert who deals in poisons, and especially rare poisons. Her name is Primanda Devellino. Primanda Devellino. I'll put that in the chat here. And she is the daughter of Vidova Devellino, who is a consigliera, who is also known as the widow of Alidalgo. So this young woman is kind of reaching that age in this society where people start wondering if she's going to be a spinstress for the rest of her life, which means she's like 14, and she just hasn't been married yet. So she still lives with her mother, this woman who's known as the widow of Alidalgo, and she's known for having quite a knack for poisons, which is perhaps a little strange for a 14-year-old child, but you happen to know that for whatever reason.
I think I may know someone we could take this to that might have a little more information. Are any of you familiar with the Del Verino family? I mean, you must be the widow. Well, her daughter has proclivity for poisons, and she knows quite a bit, actually. I had an issue when I was trying to brew a particular I don't want to get into what it was supposed to enhance or what it was supposed to prolong, but it just kept making me nauseous, and so I had to consult with her. Anyway, it's a long story, but she knows her poisons inside and out, and I think if we bring this to her, she might be able to help us.
So what you're trying to say is you wanted your feather to lengthen and were unsuccessful.
It's more that I wanted to make sure that I could prolong the flight.
Oh.
But
But you were unsuccessful.
Well, I did get nauseous. I mean, the flight was really, really long, but it was a very nauseating flight. This is really not the conversation I was trying to lead to. I was trying to say that I think I know a lead on where we can maybe get some help with it.
Perhaps that's what you should have just said then.
Yes, because this is actually quite interesting.
Yes.
Well, I'll give you my formula. I mean, I've enhanced the formula since then. With her assistance, I was able to figure out which ingredients were actually causing a more poison reactive response. But
So less nausea, more flight.
yeah, it's actually an incredible brew. I've been perfecting it in my off time, but
So you were having like stability issues with the shaft of your feather.
no, I had perfectly long flights. Listen, just because you're able to get across a lake doesn't mean that you occasionally want to try flying across a sea.
But if one could fly across the sea, now that
They would need a particularly strong shaft to get that done. It's the part of the feather that goes in that whole.
Yeah, no, I follow.
Loxley points to Guillaume and telepathically says, hook me up with a vial of that when you get a chance.
He just gets like a knowing, like, wait, like, nod.
Fantastic. Okay, so it sounds like there are a couple of next steps. It sounds like Sylvie plans on delivering this dart to the Justicaros. Okay, and then it sounds like at least some of you might be headed to talk to Primanda de Velino. But I think this is actually where we're going to call it for the night. So, everybody, this was fantastic. It's such a blast getting this ball finally rolling. I've wanted to play this game for a long, long time, and I was not disappointed. You guys did incredible introducing these characters and making sure that you got nice and involved in whatever's going on. So I'm going to pass things over to the players so that they can give any outros or give any kind of parting words that they would like, and then we're going to call it an evening. So we will go in reverse order, and we're going to start with Karen.
just because I want to say it again. Thank you everyone for watching. Tonight I was Commander Diego Ruiz Gonzaga at your service. And I had so much fun. This was a blast. This I love the little barbs and shots we fire at each other. I can't wait to see how this party gels together as a or not as a unit, but already I think we're kind of got each other's backs so far, kind of. And I really want to talk to Guillaume more about that. The pre-flight endeavors that we need to do. Anyway,
Fantastic. No, I'm just gonna leave that alone. All right, next we have Austin.
I'm This was a blast. This was so much fun. I am so excited to be the self-important butt of everyone's jokes. Getting to be a constantly embarrassed character is going to be fun because I'm gonna try to like play up his prickishness to try to compensate. But we'll see, because I'm really just not quick enough. Like about 30 seconds after every interaction, I'm like, that's what I should say. Nah. But that doesn't really help. But this is still super fun. I love all these characters, and I love this weird world, and I love how terrifying it already is. Like, I do not want to fuck with Mask Man. Every time you pull that voice modulator out, Jeremy, you elevate it to another level, because I'm like, oh, okay, this is a mystical being that I want no part of. Like every time, and I love it. It's the greatest thing. Like it makes me feel things like nothing else in RPGs. So thank you so much. This is a lot of fun.
That's awesome. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Next we have Im.
Yeah, thanks so much. This was so good. I am so excited. I love all these characters, and I can't wait to see what sort of dirty little skeleton secrets that they have in their closets, because I'm sure they are full, and I cannot wait.
Absolutely.
I just have to say, actually, our skeletons are so full, especially Guillaume's, that they are coming out of the closet.
I mean, it's that day and age. They should be in the closet anymore. You know? Be who they want to be. That's what I say. Next up, we have Matt.
I'm Matt. I play Loxley LaCroix. Tonight, just some real buffoonery and shenanigans already taking place in this campaign, and I'm really excited about it. I got stabbed, had like 3 hit points left just right out of the gate, which was awesome. It was like, honestly, like really refreshing to be like, come on, let's fight. And then just like, oh, okay, no, I'm good actually. Let's not do this. I'm good. So thank you for that. Really excited for this campaign. This first session was already just such a blast, and I just can't wait. Yeah, I feel like there's going to be lots of cool stuff happening. So thank you again, Jeremy. And yeah, can't wait till next time.
Awesome. I think that's probably the first time that I'll ever tell somebody you're welcome for stabbing them. But, you know, it's my pleasure, I guess. Yeah, I'm very excited for everything that's going on with these characters already. There's already a lot of strings that are being pulled on, and it makes me very giddy. Yeah, so I'm excited to see what comes next. All right, last but certainly not least, Kenya.
I played Vera Marion Wynn Messanero, and yeah, I can't believe this was so much fun, and I was super nervous coming into this, being in a campaign with you, Jeremy, and then all of these amazing players. I was so unbelievably nervous, but I feel like we all just kind of hit the ground running so well that it was just, we just kind of started piling in. And, you know, after that first like 20 seconds where nobody said anything, you know, we all made it past that, and it was good. I'm super excited to see where this goes. I want to know more about everybody. I just think it's going to be great. And now we have to wait a month. So it's a month.
Yeah, that is painful. But it gives me plenty of time to work on everything that all of you have done in this session, all the little strings that you've pulled, and hopefully bring them into the fold for next time. This has been incredible. Like I said, I've been planning this game in one fashion or another kind of in the back of my head for about 10 to 15 years now. So this is incredible to finally be able to start embarking upon this journey. I've been just absorbing all of the media that I can find that deals with this over the past several months. So I was needing this. So thank you very, very much for coming along on the first chapter of our brand new story. All of you, please go ahead and take a point of inspiration for the incredible role-playing and just how easily you all slipped into your characters' personalities and you found a rapport with one another that worked, both as bickering but also being supportive, which is really awesome to watch. God, I'm so excited. There's so much more that I have swimming around in my mind, and I know all of you do too, because we've talked about quite a bit of it. So I'm eager to see some of that come out and figure out what's going to happen because of it. So yeah, if you watched this evening, thank you very, very much. It means a ton to me. If you liked what you saw, hit the like button, subscribe, all of that stuff. Like I said, there's a coffee link down in the description below. If you feel like being generous, then I would love some love. So yeah, I don't think that there's anything else I can say. So
Cowboys.
Until next time. What? The boys?
Cowboys. You have to say.
Oh,
cowboys.
yes.
Oh, yes.
Next week on Wednesday night, I will be running a one-shot set in the Caldera setting, which is a fantasy western, and it will be starring the 5 individuals that you see on the screen, plus one Jackson Johnson. So yeah, it's going to be a ton of fun. It's called Ghost Town. Very spooky. I'm very excited about that as well. And now that this is in the bag, I'm going to start working on that a little bit more. But I already have some ideas for it, and I'm super excited to get to that as well. But is there anything else? Banners is next Monday. Yep, working on that too. I think that's it, at least for now. Next month, my one shot for next month, I'm super excited about this, is going to be Fear Street Scooby-Doo. I'm going to have people playing the gang from Scooby-Doo in a slasher game. I'm going to be using the Scream system to run that, so I'm hoping that that'll be a ton of fun. Should be just in time for Halloween. All right, I think we're going to get out of here. Thank you all very, very much, and until next time.
May your dice roll high, and your snacks always be within reach.
Oh, it's so good. It's so good.
That voice is so terrifying.